FBI Director Kash Patel is urging Congress to publicly release more documents related to the Durham report and the annex as we learn more details about Hillary Clinton's role in creating the Russia hoax. One declassified email exposes how she orchestrated the entire plot. Former House Freedom Caucus chair and Trump's former White House chief of staff, Mark Meadows, joined us last night to detail how Clinton's campaign is working with the deep state.
Durham had a huge investigation that took many months. What we're starting to see is the coordination that happened between the Clinton campaign, between those in the three-letter agencies that we're all too familiar with. But I think the troubling thing that appears to be coming out is that over and over and over again, there was real pressure at the very top levels of these agencies to have a narrative out there that we knew was false.
And Trump's Justice Department says this was all by design.
President Trump said the Russia hoax was meant to destroy the relationship with Russia, make it impossible to get things under control, get a reset like Hillary said she wanted.
Congressman Byron Donalds. Congressman, great to see you tonight. So is the Oversight Committee working on releasing documents mentioned in the Durham Annex?
Yeah, that's something that we're going to be getting to when we get back. Somewhat similar to the subpoenas we issued for the Epstein files that happened about a week and a half ago. So, look, I think this is where we need to go. When it comes to the Durham Annex, we need that information to be public. What is crystal clear is that Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign financed, obviously, the Steele dossier, but behind the scenes was using the elements of our government, our intelligence community. I also believe the FISA court system to not just spy on the campaign of then candidate Donald Trump, but to undermine the presidency of Donald Trump simply because she lost and could not be president. And so this is stuff that we need to release to the American people. We need to get to the bottom of that immediately.
Congressman Jason Chaffetz here. Yeah, getting those documents is key. They were under subpoena. I know because I was there and involved in signing such documents, but they weren't released. They were hidden, and now they can be exposed because they have been declassified. The follow-up, though, question, Congressman, is are you going to start to hold hearings? Because if you bring up Clapper and Comey and Brennan and those and ask the same questions that were asked previously, I think it would be fascinating to see if they pled the fifth or if they actually gave a different answer than they did when they were under oath previously answering these questions.
We absolutely should. They should be compelled to testify in front of Congress, both House and Senate. Let's compare what their comments they make to us now to what they said in media and what they said in previous investigations. That's going to be startling for the American people to see. And people might say, well, why are you going back to the well on Russiagate? Because what we witnessed almost 10 years ago now is that the Democrats wielded our government. They wielded the deep state to undermine a president of the United States. If they can do that, they can do anything with our government. You cannot allow something like this to happen. So we have to expose it. All of it needs to be exposed. Those people that were involved, they need to come in, they need to testify, and they need to do it in front of the American people. And if they choose to plead the fifth, then it speaks volumes to what they were doing to then candidate Trump and then, of course, the 45th administration of President Donald Trump.
Last night, Mark Meadows also told us he witnessed Adam Schiff and other Democrats leaking to the media after leaving the secure SCIF rooms, where they often viewed classified information. Take a listen.
The only thing that's not surprising to me is the fact that there were leaks coming out of the Democrat operatives, many of them, including Chairman Schiff, I was served with. And yet I can tell you that when we were in SCIFs, we could take a break from the SCIF and go out and find the Democrat talking points of what we discussed in the SCIF already given to the legacy media. Should it be investigated further? Absolutely. And those that are guilty should be held accountable.
So, Congressman, based upon that, will the Oversight Committee look into Schiff and other Democrats for leaking to the press during the 2016 Russia hoax?
We absolutely should, and it shouldn't just be House oversight. It should also be House intel, because what Chief Meadows was saying is stories that I've heard in my time on Capitol Hill, that Adam Schiff primarily and others would read something in the skiff, go out to the cameras, and either tell it to the press or leak it to the press so he could get asked questions. It is it is undermining the intelligence gathering apparatus, and it also demonstrates the manipulation that the Democrats were engaged in top to bottom, in my view. I'm not just talking about Hillary. I'm talking about the DNC, the White House, members of Congress. It was a top to bottom way of undermining the intelligence gathering operation in order to undermine President Trump during his first term. So it needs to fully be investigated. And yeah, he's a member of the Senate now, but that doesn't matter. Leaking classified information is illegal. No member of Congress is allowed to do that.
Former U.S. Attorney General Bill Barr is said to be headed to the Hill tomorrow for a deposition with the House Oversight Committee in its probe into Jeffrey Epstein. Barr, the first to be questioned in that investigation, which could include former President Bill Clinton, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton as well. In fact, they both have interviews scheduled for the coming months. So I'm just curious, what are you hoping to learn as we continue to delve into this Epstein situation? And as an aside, is there any reason to believe that Bill Barr worked with Fani Willis and others down in Georgia? That's something else I think a lot of people are curious about.
I think this is something that might come out in questioning tomorrow with AG Barr. I think on a broader level, what the Oversight Committee wants to accomplish is making sure that we have transparency for the American people. That's why we've issued subpoenas for the testimony from these individuals in closed-door depositions. This is why we've also subpoenaed the entire Epstein file so that information can be reviewed. Obviously, you want to protect victims. That's first and foremost. But that information can be reviewed and released to the American people. So this is a first step along that path. With respect to the Fani Willis stuff, and that might come up as well. We'll see where it goes.
All right, Congressman Byron Donalds, we'll be watching. Thank you so much for joining us.